Now, this comes after the Prime Minister blamed the Congress for historical wrongs committed in the Northeast, and he single-handedly, in fact, held the Congress party responsible for the situation that existed at that point in time, where he said that the Congress has abandoned the Northeast to its fate, and that's one of the reasons why the Northeast finds itself in the state that it is today. Here was how the Prime Minister attacked the opposition on the situation in Manipur.
मां भारती के बारे में जो कहा गया है उसने हर भारतीय की भावना को गहरी ठेस पहुंचाई। ऐसा हाल किसी का हो जाता है? सत्ता सुख के बिना जी नहीं सकते हैं और क्या क्या भाषा बोल रहे हैं। नॉर्थ ईस्ट की इन समस्याओं की कोई जननी है तो जननी एकमात्र कांग्रेस है। नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोग इसके लिए जिम्मेवार नहीं हैं, इनकी ये राजनीति जिम्मेवार है। मैं पिछले 9 साल के मेरे प्रयासों से कहता हूं कि हमारे लिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट हमारे जिगर का टुकड़ा है। 5 मार्च 1966 वायुसेना से हमला करवाया गया, निर्दोष नागरिकों पर हमला करवाया गया। और माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, आज भी मिजोरम में 5 मार्च को आज भी पूरा मिजोरम शोक मनाता है। उस दर्द को मिजोरम भूल नहीं पा रहा है कि अपने ही देश में वायुसेना से हमला करवाना। कौन था उस समय? इंदिरा गांधी।
Well, let's take this across to our guest. Mr. R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist, is with us, and as is Mr. Syam Prasad Meka, leader of the Congress party. Mr. Meka, coming to you first and foremost, why is it that the opposition decided to walk out before the Prime Minister began speaking about Manipur? After all, the entire pursuit of the opposition during the course of the monsoon session was to have the Prime Minister categorically speak specifically about Manipur, and before he even began doing so, the opposition staged a walkout. Why did that happen?
Did the Prime Minister deserve any audience? Did she show any respect to the Parliament? Where was he for the last 3 days? When people of this country are questioning and discussing the no confidence motion, where was the Prime Minister? Is he busy with something else? What is it? Let's try to understand. Where is the Prime Minister? He lacks basic courtesy of respecting his political opponents or respecting the institution of Parliament. That's what the Prime Minister is doing. And he did a more than 2 hour long speech in which even for 1.5 hours he didn't even mention Manipur. Why should anybody listen to the Prime Minister who comes and thinks he can lecture everybody? Bas karo tere mann ki baat. Zara suno, jann ki baat. That's the voice of this country today. I think opposition walking out is probably forced by the Prime Minister. That's what I think.
Mr. Rajagopalan, coming to you. Now, are you convinced by that response coming from Mr. Meka? After all, the Prime Minister did dwell upon Manipur. It's not like he avoided talking about it, but the Congress's criticism, including that of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, is that he barely spoke about it for about 2 to 4 minutes. He ought to have spoken more. What's your response, sir?
Siddharth, in the panel, I'm the only one person who has covered 42 years Parliament, not 1 or 2 years. I have seen 10 or 15 no confidence motions. The opposition has got every right to bring no confidence motion against the government. And in the no confidence, there was no mention of Manipur. It's a no confidence against the government. That is why Prime Minister divided his speech in a very articulated manner into 3 parts. First, he told about the confidence of his government. Second, he said how Congress is unnecessarily creating baseless allegations against his government. Third, he spoke about Manipur. Manipur was not the main subject. And Rahul Gandhi did a drama there by giving puppies and, strong, evidences against this type of flying kisses And he winkles his eyes, he goes Bharat Mata ki hatya ho gaya, and he repeats it. Apart from that, my understanding is opposition should not have walked out. Having walked out, when Prime Minister started to speak about Manipur, they should have entered. It is their own house. Why should they spoil the, an atmosphere of which they brought it themselves on themselves? It is the Prime Minister, magnanimously he came and answered all the questions. My understanding again is opposition is totally divided, Siddharth. Yesterday I saw DMK men were telling me in person that we should not have walked out because Prime Minister spoke about Kachatiyu, which is a very dearer to the Tamilian hearts. And second thing, Prime Minister approach was very, 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 very interesting approach. He separated all the opposition parties one by one. And second thing, today in Rahul Gandhi's press conference, when Sandeep Pukar, the Hindu correspondent, asked about Mizoram bombardment, Rahul Gandhi went away. If he was very serious, Rahul Gandhi should have stayed there, and whatever he spoke in the press conference today, Siddharth, Rahul Gandhi should have articulated very well inside the house. He should have come back. If they had any amount of disgrace about the Prime Minister, today he claims that he is our Prime Minister. Yesterday he did not have that. Today, what happened in 24 hours? Because of certain, external forces or internal forces, mental or health or what is that? He says, "Mera dimag mein, mera dil mein baat karta hoon." What a type of, illiterate conversation. He should have grown much well. 20 years of his parliamentarian position. Still, he is in LKG.
Mr. Meka, I'll allow you to respond to Mr. Rajagopalan. That's been the criticism on the part of the NDA as well, that Mr. Rahul Gandhi's comments were high on rhetoric but low on substance. What's your counter to that particular claim, sir? Mr. Meka.
Okay. See, the high, low in substance, high in claims. See, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, throughout these 9 years, he has high-sounding, lofty slogans, misspelled acronyms, but no substance. That's what he is doing for the last 9 years. Now, I was surprised, actually, I was laughing aloud when Rajagopalan ji was talking about and describing illiterate conversation. What is illiterate conversation? We know, we are familiar with
that. That is what I meant. There was no substance. There was no substance. Only flying kisses.
Okay. You don't even deserve those. Okay, wait a minute. See, the Prime Minister of India.
Then why did he do that? If they don't deserve, why did they do it? Why did Rahul Gandhi?
You go ahead and talk about flying kisses, okay? We'll talk about Berozgari.
Today he says Prime Minister was smiling.
Your Prime Minister, Rajagopalan.
Prime Minister, why did Rahul Gandhi give kiss?
Rajagopalan ji, he didn't. First of all, even if he does.
Prime Minister did not smile. Prime Minister did not smile.
The venomous people like you, like you doesn't understand a kiss. Okay.
So let's keep the subject to the topic at hand. Let's keep the discussion to the topic at hand. Was Rahul Gandhi's speech high on rhetoric and low on substance, Mr. Meka? You were answering that question, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Rahul Gandhi was full of substance. The Prime Minister is very hollow throughout these years. What he has is attractive, hollow slogans and misspelled acronyms for 9 years to cheat people. That is what the country is facing. And people like our friend Mr. Rajagopalan, they come and paint this Mr. Narendra Modi as some sort of a god, which he is not. He talks about extra 2AB. He wants to create some gas from the gutter. This is stupid, nonsense, illiterate talk. We know that.
Mr. Rajagopalan, let me take that across. You made your point, sir. You made your point. Mr. Rajagopalan, the criticism is that the Prime Minister spoke for about 2 hours and 13 minutes. It was a fairly long speech. And in that entire duration, why did he confine his speech on Manipur to a mere 4 minutes? That's the claim coming from the Congress. How would you respond to that specific point that they've raised about lack of time being devoted to Manipur on the part of the PM?
Siddharth, the debate anchor should be Siddharth. And second thing, what is the subject Times now decides? You have an editorial board. Prime Minister is interested in articulating his subject, 1, 2, 3, which I said. And he also mentioned the previous day, that is day before yesterday, Amit Shah spoke for 2 hours full of substance. Why did not Congress walk out then?
Yeah.
Because Amit Shah spoke substance. Then Prime Minister referred, since Mr. Amit Shah has already spoken, and you remember, Mr. Siddharth, day before yesterday evening, there was a resolution by the Parliament asking the people of Manipur to have a peace and we will extend all cooperation. Congress was a party to that. Did Rahul Gandhi not know that? Why should Rahul Gandhi forget that? His party is a party to that resolution. Adil Ranjan Chaudhary started to say, we support this. Then why should they go back on it? Because yesterday Prime Minister took the Congress to the hell, I tell you. I covered Congress much more than this decades, age. What does your other co-panelists know about Congress? I know Congress. Because Congress has no leaders. Congress has no organization. Congress has no... Why did Rahul Gandhi give kiss? It's not a comedy show.
Are we doing a comedy show?
Mr. Meka, Mr. Rajagopalan did make a point. He did say, Mr. Meka, that Mr. Amit Shah spoke at length specifically about Manipur. In fact, Mr. Amit Shah only spoke about Manipur for almost a duration of 2 hours, and he addressed several issues. A part of that speech might have been political, but a lot of the speech actually had to do with the current day situation there.
Siddharth, there was a resolution.
What is the use of flying kiss and all that? What is it? Why is it?
Yes, Mr. Meka, we'll keep the war of words on the flying kiss out of the equation. That's not the subject of this debate as well.
No.
There is a Lok Sabha resolution on Manipur.
Yes.
If he tries that, no.
Mr. Meka, Mr.
Lok
Amit...
Sabha Speaker...
Rajagopalan, did you ever receive any kiss in your life?
But...
Mr.
Meka, that's inappropriate. Let's not talk about the flying kiss. We're not here to talk about the flying kiss. We are here to talk about Manipur and the discussion on Manipur, Mr. Meka. Mr. Rajagopalan has said that Mr. Amit Shah spoke about Manipur for a duration of 2 hours. He even proposed a resolution. Why did the Congress not be party to that resolution? Why was there no bipartisan agreement on Manipur, sir? Mr. Meka, why was there no bipartisan agreement on Manipur? That's the moot question. How would you respond to that? That's the specific question that Mr. Rajagopalan also raised. Let's keep the flying kiss out of the equation here. Why was there no bipartisan resolution on Manipur? That's the question being directed at the Congress party, sir. Your response.
Congress party is very clear from the beginning. Government need to come out and show its commitment, show its conviction that it means business. Government is hiding. Government is not speaking. Government is...
4 hours they spoke.
अरे बाबा तू गोर
अब
जा भाई अब जाके फ्लाइंग किसेस करो आपका जिंदगी में किसी ने प्यार नहीं चले जा भाई अरे भाई जाओ भाई ये तो किस मिलता है
with due respect to both our panelists, let's not talk about an issue that is not directly related to the situation in Manipur, which is the subject of this entire discussion. I have to cut this discussion short for the time being. We have to focus on some other stories.